Hi there everyone. So for today's fountain pen video, I'm going to be going over these pens they're sort of designed with children in mind, but they're more also just for any beginner of fountain pens, and that's something that's always been very dear to me because I've had the two of the ones that I'll be discussing, which is the Platinum Preppy and the Lamy Safari, were my two that got me into the whole hobby surrounding the fountain pen, and but I'm going to be including a couple others that I picked up over the past week. I've been testing these and I've been writing with them frequently. They've been the only ones I've been writing with, actually, because I wanted to get a good feel for, what thoughts do I want to share and everything. So the different ones I have here, as I say, I have the Platinum Preppy. Well, I have 5 different models, but there's so many here because I got a medium and fine point for the Platinum Preppy and a medium and fine for the Pilot Kakuno, so that I can show you what those will look like. And then the other ones I have is the Lamy Safari, and then the Lamy ABC, which is their children's version, and the Pelikan Twist, the newer version of that, because I did a little bit of searching and I found it interesting that Pelikan made a children's oriented pen in about 1986, 85, 86, but it was not in the twisted design. The twisted design was introduced in 2013, from what I understood, and both the Safari and the ABC from Lamy have been around since about 1980, 1981. I didn't research the Kakuno, but it's a great pen. I have to be honest with you, I was very, very shocked that I actually ended up really enjoying I already knew I enjoyed the medium nib from the Kakuno fairly well, but I thoroughly enjoyed. This is the favorite fine steel nib I've used, I think. And then the Platinum Preppy came out in about 2007, and but there's some other notes that I would like to say before I show anything else, is that the Platinum Preppy, it's about a $6 to $8 pen, and they only come in medium and fine. They list the medium as being a 0.5 millimeter line, and the fine being a 0.3. However, to me, when I used them, I thought that the medium was a pretty decently sized medium, not quite a broad medium, but it's a very leaning a thicker line, and then the fine is a little bit too small for me in the line. But if you're in a small book or something, it's be fine. It feels good writing, but it's just too minute a line for my taste. And also with the Preppy, the Platinum nib on it, they use that same nib on the Prefonte model and the Plaisir model, which they're more of the more solidly constructed pen. The Plaisir is a metal pen, and the Prefonte, it's a better plastic. I wouldn't quite say it's as well built as the Kakuno, but it's close. So if you enjoy a Preppy and it cracks or something, you can always go and get the Plaisir in the metal, and you have the same writing experience. So, and they take cartridge converter, proprietary platinum, and I have 2 of the versions of cartridges here. I have the blue-black and the black, actually very decent colors, and then on these as well, you can eyedropper them, which is not too hard to do. It just takes silicone grease around the grip section and an O-ring to stop it from leaking. But I've always thought myself to be too accident prone. I've pulled it off before, but I wouldn't take it anywhere if you're not using the cartridge or converter. At this point right now, just for test purpose, I'm used just the cartridges in each of these pins. But all these pins can take their subsequent converters and cartridge, so you can use whatever ink you want to on these, is what I'm trying to get at. I just realized I enjoyed what they have. So those were the Preppy. And then for the Pilot Kakuno, this is another one that shares its parts with other models. So the nib on these, they come in, so to start out, they're between $13 to $16 for the pen, and they come in extra fine, fine, and medium, so you have another option there. And they share the nib with the a lot of models, so I'm going to spout them off, but you can slow down and know. So they share the nib off of the Metropolitan, the Prera, the Plumix, and is it the Penmanship, I think? But they share the nib off of all the pilots that have a friction fit nib. Let me see. Explorer is the other one. So the Explorer, the Metropolitan, Plumix, and Prera. Maybe there's another, but that's the ones off the top of my head. So, so you can swap nibs around. They also have a 1.1 millimeter calligraphy nib. I had it. I wasn't too big of a fan. It was just a little bit too much feedback for my taste, but it is no tip on that. So, I mean, there's no tipping on the end of that nib, so makes a little bit of sense. But this fine and medium I've thoroughly enjoyed. And I also was going to show that they have a good package, because it gives you, there's a little manual in here somewhere, or did I throw it in the box in the corner? But anyway, and it gives you how to start out, which is fantastic. I always like to say I think that this is the best pen to start out with, if you're willing to hold on to it. But then again, for those who really are not sure, the Pilot Varsity is the way. It's just like a $2-3 pen, I believe, and something goes wrong, you didn't waste the money. It's just another pen, But if you're willing to hold on to the pen and keep it, the Kakuno is fantastic. Oh, and you can also use the any of the Pilot converters go in this. Even the Con 70 converter will fit that. I don't use that converter because I refill it before, or I rinse them out and refill before I would ever use up the capacity of the Con 70. But really, really good. Maybe my favorite in the bunch. But anyway, and these are the cartridges as well. So you can get either a 12-pack of ink cartridges or 6. And I got that on Amazon. Same with the 2 pens. And a bunch of different colors than just this, or the demonstrator. Many different colors. You can get them in, like the barrel be black with a colored cap, different things. No clip on these, but you can use a Kaweco Sport clip will fit in the groove here. That was an interesting thing I'd learned a little while ago. And then the Lamy pens here. So I have the Safari, which is the most expensive pen in this whole bunch that I'm showing, but I still felt it was worthy of showing. It's about a $25 to $31 pen. and you can get virtually any nib size you want with it. I know that they have extra fine, fine, medium, broad, 1.1, 1.5, and 1.9 calligraphy nibs on that. But I honestly, telling you the truth, I just love the medium and broad are the two that I use the most. Interestingly enough, when I was testing things out, the fine nib from Lamy is just almost exactly equivalent to the medium size from Pilot, so the Japanese medium is about equivalent to the Lamy fine. And then let's see, so it's about a $25, $31 pen, like I said. And then so this is probably the more versatilely styled pen, if that makes sense. So, you know, the Lamy ABC just comes in blue and red, and this is its box, and you can put little decal sticker on the cap and the and this end of the barrel for your name, and no clip on this. But you have one of the best clips in the whole industry to me on the Safari. Oh, and you can also use, with the children's pen, you can also use any Safari style nib that Lamy makes will fit this, which that was surprising to me. It comes with what's called the A style nib, which it's pretty much just equivalent to the regular medium in their series for the adult pens, but I ended up really liking this wood material. Sounds different, I know, but it actually is quite comfortable. Like I know if you're into fountain pens really strongly, then you'll understand what I'm saying, but like it has a good warmth to the material, which I certainly didn't expect. You can't post it, but this also will take the any of the converters for the Lamy Safari, so like the Z28, Z24, all whatever numbers that they go through, this one will take it. And I didn't say that it's about a so it's a $22 pen for the Lamy ABC, and but that's while they're still having their 16% off on Amazon right now, and so it's, when it goes back to regular price, it's going to be a $26 pen, so it's very close to the Safari. So those were those. And then last but not least is the Pelikan Twist, which I have its little box. And this is the cartridge I'm using right now, which is the 4001 black cartridge, but it will take a standard international converter as well. At least the hint I'll give you is the converter from the Schmidt brand that I use in my Benu fit this, so I'll definitely want to let you know that. People were talking online about, does it fit a converter, but it will with that one. But I actually like their ink so much, I just went ahead and bought their cartridge. And it has 3 nib sizes, medium and fine, as well as they make it in a pen that it's the same twist model, but they titled the box calligraphy pen, and it's a 1.5 millimeter stub nib on that. And this grip is probably extremely polarizing because it's even steeper grip than the Safari or the ABC, but I really found it very comfortable for me. It's rubberized just like the Lamy ABC. So I think that with that covers most everything. So I'll do the writing sample here, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start out with the Platinum Preppy. These post really well too. This is the fine nib. So, let's see. This is the fine. It's almost as small as like a 0.5 millimeter pencil or something. It's quite a minute line there. It feels okay putting it down, but it's not. It's not a. When I do use fines, I don't reach for this, honestly. The medium that they made was way better. But I understand I have to go easy on it, you know, $6 pen, so, but the fact that the medium is so good. And there's no facets on the grip of the Preppy. On all the others, they have, like, it's formed into a triangle almost on them, but these are just round. That could be appealing to somebody, because if they grip it differently, they may like that. Okay. So that was the fine size from the Platinum Preppy. Now we'll move on to the medium, and now this pen I do enjoy. Like I said, that's just almost too small, whereas the Pilot Fine has enough width of line, you know, that you feel like you're putting the ink down pretty good. Whereas this one's a little bit thicker than either of them. I didn't reverse back here. This was, I was using Platinum Black for the color. Okay, so next is the medium Preppy. A lot smoother and a lot thicker. About at least twice as thick than their fine is. And they say it's a 0.5, but I'd almost peg it to be a 0.7, just about. And this is Platinum. Blue Black. See, it's a pretty nice color, actually, I would say. Man, my writing's hideous today, because I hadn't written in a little while, but I wrote all week last week, but I take a break and I lose it, but that's alright. It might just be because I'm trying to keep this paper in frame. I normally would be writing like way over there. Anyway. But yeah, I would recommend, if you're going to get the preppy, get the medium. Although if you think that you'll be using inexpensive paper, then the fine may be okay for you, but I think the general people would like the medium better. So next we'll do the Kakuno. Sorry. Okay. Now this is a fine nib, but this is much more smooth version of a fine and a little tiny bit thicker. Maybe it could just be, perhaps it's just because it's wetter rotting, but it's very good. This is the first time I've been wowed by a fine nib, so. And this one does have a grip area for your finger, but I really quite like it. Because other pen reviewers have said, you know, that the grip is not forcing you to grip it that way, like how on the twist it's like super molded that way. This is just, it's slightly divoted that way, and it's just fabulous. And I should have said a long time ago, but this is 80-gram Rhodia paper. This is the fine. This is Pilot Black, because it's just their regular cartridge. I promise you guys, my letters, that if I'd send anybody, they'd be more legible than today. I promise you on my heart, right? I don't know what's up today, but anyway. It looks like Gary the Snail wrote my writing today, but anyway. Let's see. But I actually like this so much, I've written through over half the ink. Anyhow. So, we'll move over to the medium. So another Kakuno, but with the medium nib. Now this one's almost buttery smooth. Now that one's smooth, but it has feedback because it's fine. But this one is pretty much just buttery smooth. And this is Pilot Blue Black. It's a little bit of a deeper blue black than the platinum version. I think I'd say that I like it a little bit better. Now we are on to the Lamy Safari. So this is the medium nib. And I have the black cartridge in this, and then I have the blue cartridge in the ABC. would say so far the smoothest riders were the medium Kakuno, the medium Preppy, and then this is pretty good. But I want to show you there's something up with the Pelikan twist, not in a bad way, but in interesting ways, that their medium is almost the equivalent of the Lamy broad, which is kind of interesting. So let's see, black ink, okay. I'm going to shorten the pen gram so that I can fit this in this one paper for you. Let's see. Okay, and then lastly on this sheet, because I'll flip it around, is the Lamy ABC. Oh, and I didn't even mention, and I should have, but it's a maple wood for the barrel material, so it's kind of interesting that way. So style A nib and Lamy blue. Okay. Okay, and I think hopefully I can do this. Yeah, I kind of sort of can. As you can see, the Lamy medium on the Safari is nearly exactly the same as the style A nib. So if you know, I don't know if it's like it's like you know your child has used your Safari before on medium and liked it, and you get them this, they'll be all set. And then last but by no means least at all is the Pelikan twist. And this one just shocked me because it's super broad and super smooth. And it's like, how much was it? They're not, yeah, $19 to $22. So, and this one you could place the cap, but it just wants to come off. So, and even if you do, it's not too, it's a little bit too big, but you don't even really need to post it. See, medium. Really, it's almost a broad, but I like that about it. Probably the smoothest pen out of all of these, but it could be a little bit too large for you. So I'd go, if I was picking, I'd be saying, if you're not sure but you know that you like the pilots anyway, then medium or fine. Kakuno's great, and then the just that really with this is just depending on what style you want. About the same to me. And okay, medium, and this is 4001 brilliant blacks, what they called it. Yeah, I used to use and I still would, the broad on the Lamy Safari, and this is almost the same, even though it's listed as medium. I can't imagine how broad that, if they made it broad, it would be like a 1.0 or something. Well, they do have the calligraphy nib, though. Okay, and then I'm going to go back for just a moment. Okay, and I just used the Lamy medium to show you how much broader that is versus the all the other mediums we've seen today, which would be like the Lamy medium down here. So anyway, so I hope that was interesting for you all. It was interesting for me to do these different pens. I was pretty spoiling myself using such high-end ones, but it's kind of eye-opening to use these again. So I wish you guys the best, and take care, and I will see you.